Hello everybody, and welcome to Let's Look at Fractal. Fractal is a new puzzle game on Steam. It actually has the full title, Fractal, Make Blooms, Not War. So you can tell it's also kind of into music because it's got that cool little waveform or equalizer thing going on there. But it's kind of a complicated game to explain. I feel like I've been saying that a lot recently. So to explain it, we're going to go to the campaign mode here and try out level 1, because hopefully that'll give me a good opportunity to collect my thoughts. Now, in order to get points in this game, or complete levels, we have to get a certain number of blooms. And blooms are these honeycomb-shaped things that you can see up here in the top left, illuminated by that white circle. Now, in order to make blooms, we need to get one hexagon in the center of one color, surrounded by 6 hexagons on all sides of exactly the same color. Now, the way we do this is by placing hexagons that also push the existing hexagons outwards. So you can see with my mouse over here, I'm not sure if you can see my pointer, but I'm putting it on the top left hexagon here on the perimeter, and it'll push these two outwards, thus creating a bloom. Now, we get 7 points for that bloom, but there's also a combo system, which we'll talk about a little bit later. In order to beat this level, we have to get 21 points, which means we need... What's 21 divided by 7? 3 blooms, alright. That was pathetic. Now you can see here, we can create another bloom just by doing that. And it's kind of difficult to explain my thought process for this, because making these blooms does not always come easy to me. Say what you want about games like Match 3 games, but... I'll just make this last bloom here while I make this point. Match 3 games and games like Tetris, they work because they're really easy to visualize, and that's what makes them really addictive puzzlers, is the fact that, it's a cliche, but easy to play, difficult to master. This game, so far, and I'll admit I am only half an hour in here, is difficult to play and perhaps impossible to master, although I can't say that with any kind of authority. We're still on the second level here. Now things get a little bit more complicated, so you can see there's a lot more blooms here, and I have a set number of pushes, which is essentially clicks that cause an action to happen. So with 23 pushes, I have to get 160 points. Hopefully we'll be able to see some combos here. So I'll set up some blooms. As you can see, I got a bloom there, and then some more hexagons will begin to populate the screen. Now, basically what I'm going to do is just going to shove a whole bunch of hexagons onto the screen here, and pretty much make blooms at random, because it doesn't matter at this point in the game. It's going to be nearly impossible for me to finish this level without succeeding. Some people might call that failing. The music's starting to come in here. You might notice that the music is actually pretty damn good. It reminds me of... Actually, this is going to sound bad. I just said the music sounded good. I'm not trying to judge anybody's musical taste here, but a lot of it kind of sounds like an instrumental Coldplay, or like a play-era Moby, let's put it that way. No matter how you feel about those guys, it's a very pleasant experience, and it goes along well with the gameplay. And I think the aesthetics are fine, too. I mean, you get that a lot in puzzle games, but both graphics and music are all pretty good in here. Anyway, I'm just setting up my blooms here. Now, notice... that the arrows show up to show you what direction the hexagons will be pushed in should you use a push in that direction. So for example, if I put my mouse in between these 4 hexagons right here, they'll push out in that direction that looks kind of like the 4chan logo. Or I could go here and just push the 2 out in this direction, or come over here and push the 4 out in this direction, or push 5 out in this direction, etc., etc. Helpful for visualizing, but I still have a serious problem visualizing more than a move ahead, and even sometimes visualizing just one move ahead trying to make blooms. Now, I think I've kind of explained this to the best of my ability. You're seeing the combo system happen here. Similar to a game like Bejeweled, that just seems to happen basically at random. I don't have any control over that, but I'm sure there's some high-level Bejeweled players who are thinking to themselves, wow, you're a fucking idiot. That's the whole crux of the game. Now, we're going to get out of this and go back to the main menu and start on a later level of the campaign. In fact, we'll go to this one right here. This is the last level I defeated. So now we have 2 different colors. Before, the game had all been about one color, and it was already complex enough in my mind, just trying to get enough points with one color of hexagon. Now we've got 2, and we're trying to continue to make blooms. We need 120 points in 44 pushes. Now, the thing with 2 colors power-ups, I'll talk about in a minute. So right off the bat, I'm going to just try to make some blooms here and see if I can get some starting points. Maybe get some lucky combos. So you can see I got a single bloom down there. I'm starting to just... Basically, my strategy for the beginning is usually just populate the screen with as many hexagons as you can, and then work from there, trying to get some good situations where you can get a lot of multi-blooms, maybe. I don't know if that terminology is accurate. Maybe the developers will watch the video and they can correct me. And maybe the developers can watch the video and tell me that my strategy is totally janked up and I'm not playing this game correctly at all. But anyway, for right now, that's exactly what I'm doing. Obviously, the more hexagons you get in on a bloom, the more points you get for it as well. So we're going to see something in just a second. Is there any spot here where I can make another bloom? This is not your traditional puzzle game where I'm used to, like, a game that came out earlier this year, like Critical Mass, or, that's another good example. Even a game like Bejeweled or Tetris where you have a time constraint. I'm noticeably going slow right now, but that's totally fine. You can take a long time to plan out your moves. It's earned its casual distinction that it has in the Steam store. Now, as you can see right here, there's hexagons with colors in the bottom right corner. Now, the color indicates how should I explain this? I'll show an example of it. So, for example, let me put my mouse right here, in between this kind of like bear paw of blue, pink, pink. Now, what this will cause is the pink to go up one, the blue to go diagonally left one, and the other pink to go diagonally right one, and there will be another pink occupying each of those 3 spaces that they abandoned, as you can see right there. Now, this is kind of the hard part of the game for me. It makes it very difficult for me to visualize what the heck's going on. But for now, let's just focus on making some more blooms, hopefully getting out of this level, and then we'll get into some more difficult levels where I won't have to illustrate my thought process. Hopefully, you'll just be able to see my thought process as I continue to make blooms here. Now, you might be wondering, Ryan, we come to watch this video not to hear a dissertation on how this puzzle game plays. We want to hear if it's actually any good or not. I have mixed feelings about this game right now. Right off the bat, and this is something that when games do this, it really pisses me off. It had no serious tutorial. And again, that's fine if you're talking about like a match 3 type game, where everyone has played something like it. But I've never played a puzzle game like this before in my entire life, and I'm not sure if maybe like a game like Hexic is very similar to this. But I feel like a lot of people are going to be in that same boat of just being like, I don't understand what the fuck to do. I had no idea what a bloom is. Like the only instruction you get in that tutorial at the very beginning is make blooms, and then it gives you like a little hexagon circled. So it took me at least 10 minutes, and you know, that might be even a commentary on my own intelligence, but it took me at least 10 minutes to figure out what the fuck I was supposed to do. And then, even now having, you know, admittedly not a whole lot of time into the game, I think this will be our final bloom right here. See, that's exactly what I mean, is that I have a very difficult time visualizing where my moves will succeed and where they will fail. Let me think about this for a second. Move this forward, and then move this out, and we can make one easily there. Okay. Yeah, again, say what you want about a match 3 game like Bejeweled or something, but it's really easy to figure out what you're supposed to do, and again, that lends itself to the addictiveness. Here, I have an awful hard time, and honestly, that's kind of causing a little bit of detriment to the experience for me. This is the level I'm stuck on right here, but maybe now that, you know, I have people watching me, I can step up to the plate and maybe get past it. So now we have green and pink, and we have a lot of mix-up in terms of the colors that we're getting with our pushes. So I'm just going to start making some blooms here. Now, it's a little bit unfortunate for this game because this year has been a really strong year for puzzlers on Steam. I mean, just off the top of my head, we have Critical Mass, which was pretty good, a game I've already mentioned so far in this video, and that was basically like I wouldn't necessarily call it a Match 3 game, but it was a variant on Match 3 that took place in 3D space. Where am I going here? Again, thankfully, I have all the time in the world right now. We also had... There was a huge, great puzzle game that came out. Critical Mass... Oh, Space Cam! Of course, I forgot about Space Cam. Included in the Humble Indie Bundle. Space Cam is probably my favorite puzzle game of the year, and actually one of my favorite games of the year. Even though that game also has pretty substantial difficulty. I'm finding this game, when I say this game, I mean Fractal, of course, to be very difficult in its own right as well, but I'm just focusing on making blooms here. Maybe I'll get out of this. I'm already a third of the way there. So between those 2 games, as well as Bejeweled 3 that just came out last year, which I have not played, but as with pretty much everything from PopCap, I just assume it's gold, and it got great reviews as well. So between all those, if you're a puzzle game fan, you're probably not really aching for a game. The whole point of these games is just to continue getting like as high a score as you possibly can and mastering the game. It's not necessarily about beating the game. So I assume you can still probably sate yourself with those. But, you know, we'll give this game a fair shake here. Okay, how am I going to swing this? So how can I put a bloom in here? I only need to get one more piece into this spot. You can see there's a green hexagon surrounded by 5 more green hexagons, but how do I get that other one down? It's like kind of like playing with a Rubik's Cube here, because like I push this one down, but then that pushes another one out, so I'll push this one up, but then that pushes another one out. But I made it bloom anyway, accidentally. Fine by me, though. So yeah, overall, I mean, we gotta put this in perspective. The game is currently asking for... How do I get this blue? God damn. The game is currently asking for $6 on Steam, which is not... you know, a hefty price to pay. But when you consider Critical Mass is only $5, and that also has a free demo, you got some things to consider. Let's put it that way. Space Chem is currently sitting at $10, but most people probably got that in a copy of the Humble Indie Bundle that came out a little while ago. For now, I'm going to focus, not talk too much about the game. Well, not talk too much about the meta game. I'm just going to try to make some blooms here. There was a 2-bloom cluster. I knew that was going to happen, of course. See. Basically, my strategy revolves around looking for the, like, what would I call it? Fishing with dynamite, essentially. I'm going to try to find the easiest places where I can make blooms and then just make them. I'm not doing any kind of high-level combo stuff, as you could probably gather. Now, push this over. There we go. This should make a bloom. All right, just a single bloom, but that's okay. Again, even in those match 3 games, which I have, you know, complimented a few times on being intuitive, I don't do any kind of combinations in those that are deliberate anyway. How many pushes do we have here? Not enough to make this work as well as I need it to. Well, let's push out this end a couple times anyway. There we go. Single bloom. Got an awful lot of pink on the screen. Now you can see I got 12 pushes. I need 58 points. That means I have to make how many more blooms? Probably about 6 more blooms, all things told. Seems to do about 1 every 2 pushes, which is a tall order for me to fill. Just do it. I think we can do 1 here. And then, no, that's not going to do it at all. God damn it. But this may... Yes, excellent. That's pretty much my perspective. Is like, I think, I'm looking at it, I think this will work, but there's absolutely no way for me to be sure of it. How do I get one into this situation? Also, this game has one of the dumbest names I've ever seen on Steam. It's Fractals Make Bloom Not War. I mean, I get it. It's kind of cutesy, I guess, but does it really add anything to the experience? If you're marketing your game like that, maybe you should focus on the gameplay a little bit more. How do I get this to work? Let's do... Oh, it's a green push, and I accidentally clicked the button twice, which was a poor decision on my part, because now I've totally bunged up what I wanted to do. Okay, we're looking for green fractals or pink fractals, or blooms, whatever they want to call it. But it's melting my fucking brain. Just looking at this... look at the screen, tell me what the heck I'm supposed to do. You Tetris, you take the skinny piece, you drop it in the hole, it's easy, it's like intercourse. This, it's like goddamn... You're having a final exam on the Kama Sutra. And I threw my back out last week. Okay, we can put a green one here. Start a bloom. And then another green one here to finish it. Okay, 5 pushes left. Maybe I'm just playing the game all wrong. Maybe it's meant to be more deliberate. And I think this will give us a bloom. A pink bloom in the top. No, this will give us a bloom in the top middle. Okay, no chain reaction, sadly. Again, I need 37 points with 4 pushes. Now I need to average more than a bloom per push. And shouldn't need me to tell you that's borderline impossible unless I luck into a combo. There's another bloom. Sadly, no combo. The music's starting to slow down. It's getting ready to die. And I can't say I blame it, all things considered here. I don't think there's any way I can create a bloom here in 1 push. 2 pushes, maybe. Let's see, 1 push down. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Not quite. Let's do a push down here. And then a push up here, and hopefully I get a huge combo out of this. Critical. Okay, my last push. Don't expect greatness out of me here. That's not gonna work. Taking a look around here. Used to play a lot of competitive chess, so, you know, I'm no stranger to games requiring a lot of deliberation and having very methodical thought processes. But I'm seriously having a really hard time with this. I guess, if I'd taken more of a shine to the game, I would call it intellectually stimulating. But because I'm still kind of on the fence, I call it, frustrating and inaccessible. Where does this last piece go to make a bloom? I don't think I can do it. I don't think there's any spot that's only one piece away. Oh, fuck it, we'll try. Here, no, that's not gonna work. Here is absolutely not gonna work. Push this one down. It almost worked. It's 2 pushes away. This one up doesn't work. This is the one time I'm confident that there aren't people in the audience right now screaming at their TVs like, you gotta put it on G4! It's the only way! And they'll never bet on G4. Whatever. Let's try it. Yeah, no bloom, so I failed here. If I wanted to, I could share that score on Facebook and Twitter, I suppose. Let's go back to our main menu here. You can see there's other game types. One of them is arcade. There's 3 different play styles. Here I'm going to play for speed. And basically here you have a timer, and every time you make blooms, you cause that timer to increase, or at least, go up a little bit so that you can start to get some more time back. Unfortunately, again, since I haven't mastered the basic concepts of the game, this is a very difficult mode to play because I only have 6 seconds to make a bloom, and I have no idea when the shit that fucking happens, but I guess I got really lucky and ended up beating the level here. Okay. So basically for this, I just fill the fucking screen and then click as fast as I can so far. I'm sure there's some strategy to it. Maybe speed is not the ideal choice for your first-time Fractal player. But I'm doing my best here. 8 seconds, I actually cleared it. Oh my god, did I ever clear it. You're about to possibly see a world record Fractal score, although I only have 9 seconds. See, this is more what I expect a puzzle game to be. And, part of that is on me. That's not on the game. Oh, there goes. Ah, get out of it. I didn't make blooms or war there. Let's check out the scoreboard. Am I anywhere near the top? Oh, this is different. Got to level 3. That's pretty damn good. 16% of the way through the campaign. Or through the arcade campaign. That's not very long, is it? And then we got these puzzle modes here as well. And let's check this out, because I haven't looked at this at all. There's only 10 puzzles, which means I'm probably going to get fucking destroyed here. Oh, there's 10 in each selection here, and it seems like they're named after famous... I don't know. I'm going to display my ignorance there. I don't know. Mandelbrot sounds familiar. Some kind of mathematical thing, I remember. He just died recently, I think. Shows how tied into the intellectual community I am. Let's play Baby's First Bloom here. Okay, well that's easy enough. Puzzle vanquished. Not a problem. Create 5 blooms in 20 pushes. This should also be easy as hell. You can see that each one of these gets a little bit tougher. Okay. It's easy. What do we have here? Again, easy. This mode seems alright so far. I'm actually digging this a little bit more than the campaign, to be honest with you. But again, I have only played the puzzle mode for about, 10 seconds or so. Just wasted a push there, but still finished it. Okay, next puzzle. This is the kind of way I feel puzzle games should be. A little more methodical and deliberate. So I gotta clear the board. I'm not even sure what that means. But I'll do it. Oh god, I only have 4 pushes left. Did I bung it up something fierce? I think I did. Okay, we'll retry that one, because I was having a good time here. So how many pushes did I get? 10 pushes. Set up a system like this first. And then down. Okay. So I know I can easily make blooms in a lot of these places. One here. Obviously we'll make one. Oh lord. I think I did it again. Then I want to push into here. 2 pushes left. Fuck. One here. One here. No, not even close. That was worse than the last one. Let's try that one more time just quickly. Do things the easy way. I don't think I want to make as many hexagons at a time as I have been making. I got 4. Oh, puzzle vanquished. That was easy enough. Alright, let's exit out of that. That actually seems like it's kind of fun. And we'll go back to the main menu, and that's pretty much it for Fractal. Right now they're asking $7 for this on Steam, $6.99. My verdict is that, I don't really feel like this is an accessible puzzler. I don't think this is the kind of game where you would find yourself being, addicted to it in the same way you find yourself being addicted to a Plants vs. Zombies or a Bejeweled or even something like a Critical Mass, which came out earlier this year. I gave Critical Mass kind of a tepid review in my review of it, but I actually think Critical Mass it's been the best example of like a casual puzzle game that you could pick up on Steam this year on the PC. And then on the other side of things, like again, if I'm being positive, it's intellectually stimulating, but if you want intellectually stimulating, I would fork over the extra $3 and go for Space Chem, which is probably one of the best indie games that I've played this year. Unfortunately, right now, I have mixed feelings on Fractal. It's competently done. It's certainly not a train wreck by any stretch of the imagination, but it kind of occupies the area. If there was a scale between like casual and maddeningly frustrating, it occupies a spot on that scale that doesn't really interest me that much. It's too hard to get into for my taste. Definitely, like with any puzzle game, I feel like by an hour in, I should at least have a handle of the basic concepts. There are exceptions to that rule, though, of course. But at the same time, I don't really find myself being challenged so much as just being kind of frustrated by my own inability to view the map. But again, could be a personal problem. Overall, I would give Fractal kind of a tepid review right now. Lukewarm. Again, competently done. Sounds like an insult. Let's not consider it an insult. It's just a backhanded compliment. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.